Good morning. Happy Saturday, Floss Tube. Hello, crafty friends. My name's Caroline. Welcome back. Daily Crafty Chat. Yes, I did not get a video out yesterday. Yesterday sort of was just, it was one of those days. We are here. I'm in London, Ontario, Canada, and I live in one of the areas of our province that is currently under the red zone for COVID. We have our numbers are climbing, so our area is under sort of, you know, restrictions, and there's been rumor circulating wildly that and I don't think it's really unreasonable to expect that as of Monday we would be put into lockdown, which is much stricter you know, sort of circumstances. I'm sure you are all familiar with lockdown protocol by now. And of course, you know, small businesses would have to close again, switch back to curbside pickup, and everything is just that extra level of you know, precaution, necessary precaution. And at this moment, it's still unclear actually whether or not London is moving to lockdown. It seems to be our premier is going to move the entirety of southwestern Ontario to lockdown on Boxing Day, but it hasn't actually been Boxing Day. What's Boxing Day? Many of you always ask this, and I always forget. It is, I believe, also you celebrate Boxing Day in Australia and the UK. It is the day after Christmas. It is, so it's December the 26th. And I believe the historical meaning behind Boxing Day was it was the day when the help would get the day off, and their employers would box up the leftovers and send them home so that they could have a bit of celebration of their own. I think that's every year I have to look it up because I always forget. Boxing Day used to be a holiday, just an extra holiday, so that you would, everybody would have Christmas Day and Boxing Day as holiday, statutory holiday. But then when I was a kid, and I am now 46, they started, Boxing Day became synonymous with shopping, with sales. And so sort of like the American Black Friday, and now we all have Black Friday as well because it's just sort of become a big thing. But now Boxing Day is synonymous with sales, and lots of stores will have Boxing Day sales, and people, it's generally traditionally now a big shopping day. I have never been a huge Boxing Day sale person. I don't like crowds. I tend not to partake. And this year doesn't look like there will be that sort of thing going on in person. Anyways, so now the thinking is that everyone in Southern Ontario will be in lockdown as of Boxing Day. But I do know that the Hamilton area, Hamilton-Wentworth area was said that on Monday they will be going into lockdown as well. So I had a lot of things that I wanted to take care of yesterday, and so that's just why by the time I got to the end of the day and I was already behind on my own work and everything else, it just didn't fit into the day. And again, it always feels like a little bit of something is left undone, and there's just always a little bit of unsettling feeling for me at the end of the day, and I haven't put out a video. It's become such a big part of my routine. So I did do a little bit of Christmas shopping yesterday at the Little Red Mitten. Carrie of Leo and Roxy, one of the owners of the Little Red Mitten, was kind enough to let me come to the shop by appointment and do a little bit of shopping. And we had a few other things to chat about as well, vis-a-vis Floss, you know, some things, a few things like that. So exciting things coming down the road. And so it was a busy but really fun day yesterday. So I got a lot done, but I do have to do a fair bit of sewing today and tomorrow in order to keep on track with getting those bags out. So that's what's on deck for me today. I am currently working on my Timber Yarns 12 Days of Christmas sock. So I've added a few stripes since I shared this with you the last time. I now have put in, where was I? Where was I the last time? Was I on the purple? I can't remember. But anyways, I'm all the way up to the red. Next up comes white. So that will be the next stripe. And then I think I'm back to the, yep, then I'm back to the purple. So once I finish that white stripe, I will have completed all of the colors in the order that they go in. You know what I mean. I will have completed all of the colors once in their entirety. My Leo and Roxy sock is still, I have not gotten to the heel yet, and I really so badly want to get to the heel on this one because it's just so, I just love this. I love how it's pooling. And normally this would not, you know, but I think it's because it's in my color that it is just so pleasing to me that I love it. Just love it. That's been really fun. So yes, there's just not enough time. There is not enough time in the day. So those are where my socks are at. We were supposed to record a Fiber Friends podcast yesterday afternoon, but my internet, I don't know what is going on with my internet in this particular location in my space here, because I can watch video in here, but for some reason when I joined the chat, it just didn't, the Zoom, the internet, it was glitchy, and I couldn't hear the girls and they couldn't hear me, and the video was freezing. So we had to sort of bail on that. But we have plans to try again on Wednesday morning, and I'm going to try sitting in a different location in the house, and hopefully that will help fix the issue. The other thing that I wanted to quickly mention before I show you the rest of what I've been stitching is thank you so much to all of your kind and heartwarming comments on the short little video that I did with my father-in-law, Herb, the other day. I can tell you, he was quite chuffed with all of your very sweet comments. He refuses to watch it. He won't watch the video, but he every time I tell him, you know, oh, you're very popular and everybody really liked that you were, you know, that you did the video with me. He's you can tell he's quite pleased. So I had a lot of many of you asked about his accent or spoke about his voice, and yes, and you know, he's been a part of my life since I was 16, 17 years old. So you know, I've sort of practically grown up with listening to him, so it's very normal for me. But yes, his accent is varied. So he was born in Namibia, which is a small country in Africa, to a German family. And at the age of 7, he went to an English school. So he learned to speak English in Namibia, in Africa. So the base of his English accent is South African. Then he went to university in England, and that is where he met Bridget, his wife, my mother-in-law, who passed away in 2015. Also, I know many of you know this, but lots of people are always new, so just a little reminder, Bridget is the reason why I fundraise for Muscular Dystrophy Canada. She had a form of muscular dystrophy, and anyways, she was from Somerset, so she was English, and she had a Somerset accent. They got married, and right after they got married, they emigrated to Canada. So, and then of course they were married for just over 40 years. So Herb's accent has been shaped by all of those different factors. So, you know, German birth, English at 7, then moving, so South Africa for all of, you know, the early years, and then England for university, and then Canada, and living with an English bride for 40 years. So that is where his accent has been formed. So yes, he's as I'm sure you know by now, he's a big part of, he's my family. He's my bubble. He's in my bubble. So, but yes, it's been quite funny to see how pleased he's been with your comments. So thank you again. So last night was Friday. It was Friday night, so I was determined to do some stitching and participate in some of the Friday off the grid. When Herb isn't here in town with us or at the cottage with us, then it's a lot easier for me to start, you know, to do the traditional 6 hours of stitching from 6 p.m. But the nights that he's here, so from Thursday to Sunday, we do a much more sort of traditional family style sit down dinner, and we'll be at the table for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours, you know, spreading out the dinner, having a coffee and chatting and sort of being company, because that's really the only sort of social interaction that he's been getting since, well, March of last year. So, you know, it's an important thing, and it's an important thing for us as a family to do that as well, because we are a very busy family. John and I work a lot, and so having those nights set aside where that is a staple for us is important. But it does mean that on Friday night I just can't start stitching at 6 o'clock. So by the time I did finally sit down, I was determined to get to my Miss Margaret Ann Rollo. So I had everything planned out. Oops, I actually made notes for today and I just dropped them on the floor. So hang on. I'll just grab. Oh, let's grab those. Okay. So Miss Margaret Ann Rollo, I was going to stitch this last night. Here's where I'm at now. So not a ton of progress. Remember, I was unsure about my fabric, and it's showing up quite gray. It's a little warmer in reality. It's quite a bit warmer in reality. So I am happy with the fabric, and so I'm going to carry on. I'm going to continue on with that. But then when I finally sat down, it was about 8 o'clock. It was much later than I had thought I would get to my stitching, and I just thought, you know, remember my Christmas stars, the ones that I really want to get them on my tree, but I was a bit mad at it because I'd made such a big mistake that needed ripping out. And so I thought, that's it, get to it, rip it out, fix it, and then you can quickly finish that. You could totally finish that star tonight, and then you could FFO it tomorrow and be done with it. Well, okay, so I ripped it out and I restitched it. Okay, so here's where I'm at. What this story does not tell you was that I have stitched it now 3 times, because not only did I rip it out and fix it, but I fixed it wrong. I had to redo it again. But instead of getting mad at it again and putting it away, I just thought, oh, you know, whatever, you're in for a penny, in for a pound, you might as well rip it out again and fix it. And so I did. So the ecru in this star has been stitched 3 times, but that's okay. It is now correct. It's now correct. It's almost done. And I hope to be able to finish the stitching on this tonight. That's what I'd really like to do. And then tomorrow I want to get back to my the ink circles damask square, because I haven't had time for it in the last couple of days. Oh, info on the materials. I'm stitching this on a 28 count Lugana. This is it Lugana? I'm pretty sure. It's a pictureless plus fabric called Gingerbread. It's definitely a 28 count even weave, and yeah, gingerbread. And I love it. I love, love, love this fabric. And I'm using 2 strands of floss over 2. And I am, of course, using my new Leo and Roxy floss. So this is Antique Wedding Dress and Very Cranberry. So Leo and Roxy, there is more coming. I will have more of the 4 original colors, but I'm just not exactly sure on the date. However, it is coming. So as soon as I have it, I'll let you know. And I will hopefully, the original, oh, I'm stumbling over my words quite a bit at the moment. I think I need more coffee. The original Marcel bags, I had originally said the middle of January to have them sent out. I'm hoping to actually be a little bit ahead of that game and have all of the original sales of those kits. I'm hoping to have them out by the beginning of January into the post, and not the middle of January, because I have some more fabric. I have bird fabric coming in January that I can't wait to get to. And I want to do more Marcel bags with whatever I have left. So remember I said John and I work a lot? We do work a lot, but I love what I do. I can't help it. I can't help it. All right, so that's what I was up to the last couple of days craft-wise. So not a ton of progress, but it's for everybody this time of year. If you have a family that you are providing Christmas for, it's a busy time of year on top of regular stuff. So a couple of other things to tell you about today. I wanted to fill you in on the Flossmas 2020 charity ornament. I heard from Patty Brake this morning. She messaged me and said that the pattern sales, the 50% that is going to be directly donated to Muscular Dystrophy Canada, we are already at $410. $410 in actual donation money. So that is the 50% that is going to be sent to Muscular Dystrophy Canada. You guys are amazing. And I was sent an email by Sally, and Sally sent me a completed photo of the ornament. So I'm actually going to pop that photo in right here. Isn't it sweet? It's so sweet. It is so sweet. So I have to start mine. I must start mine. I need to get it started in the next 2 days. That's it. Goal set. I need to start it in the next 2 days because it's adorable. I'm going to be doing mine teeny tiny. So I'm going to do it like 1/1 on a, maybe a 25 count. And so that it can be a small ornament that will go on my tree. Okay, the other thing, while I'm talking about Patty, I had mentioned a couple of days ago that she has a new mystery stitch along that is going to be, she's released the borders, and we know the theme, it's a beach theme. I have seen the finished project and it is really sweet. It is really sweet. If you're a fan of the beach, you're going to want to get in on this. She has kitted up the pattern in her shop. So you can purchase the supplies to make the mystery stitch along. And she's kitted it up a few different. I'm going to pop some photos in of what is available in the set. There are a few choices. You can purchase the kit as you can just get the needle minder, or you can get just the needle minder and the pattern and the floss, and then no fabric, and then you can order it with fabric, and you've got 2 choices for fabric. You can either order it with a 28 count Monaco or a 14 count Aida, and I'll put in pictures of both. The set that I have coming is going to have the 28 count Monaco. So So those are in Patty's shop, and there is a link to her shop in the drop down box below, along with a link to the 2020 Flossmas ornament. Okay, last thing that I have to talk to you about today is a big thing that I have planned for January. New start. I love big projects. They're my favorite. Big, huge, massive projects are my favorite. And I think it's become pretty clear over the last year that I am a busy person and I don't get a lot of stitching time. And so I'm absolutely crazy to be considering starting these massive projects. You know what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to start them anyways, but I'm limiting it to 2 huge projects next year. I have 2 huge projects planned that they will make me very, very happy to start them. And the first one is the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 Stitch Along. I must start that. I think it is one of the most beautiful patterns Jacob has ever designed, and I'm really excited to stitch that. The other pattern that I'm going to start, and this one I am going to be hosting a stitch along. And if you've known me for any length of time, you'll know that any stitch along with me is incredibly informal. Because I am also running a Jeanette Douglas stitch along for the Blooming Bouquet. Bet you thought I forgot about that one, didn't you? I haven't forgot about that one. That one is on my radar to get back into right after I've wrapped up a few of these holiday things that I'm working on. So the Jeanette Douglas Blooming Bouquet stitch along, that one is still very much in my wheelhouse for the next for 2021, as well as my Glendon Place Hope and Strength stitch along. That's another one. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you would love to stitch this along with me, please know that there is absolutely no pressure. There's no pressure to finish it in any length of time. There's no pressure to even start it at any particular time. I just want you to love it because I love it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork that I cannot wait to hang on my wall in 10 years? Who knows? Because it's You all know I'm a big fan of Historische Stickmuster, and I have chosen one of their charts that was on their website, and it is a Vierlande sampler. I believe they have 8 of them, and I think that these were charts that were done by Uta, and she did them a long time ago, and so they weren't available on the Silk Stitching app. Silk Stitching app is the app put out by Dorothy of Historische Stickmuster and her son, Justice, who has done all of the technical work to develop this app and make it work so beautifully. And so I'm going to go a little bit in a circle here because I'm talking about the Silk Stitching app. If you haven't heard by now, if you haven't heard already, you are now able to print from the Silk Stitching app. They have added that capability into the app because customers wanted it. Stitchers wanted to be able to print. And this is one of the things that I really love about Dorothy and Justice, is that, you know, this is their business, right? But they're listening to what stitchers want and they're making it happen. And I can tell you this, I will bet you that that was not an easy task, but they've done it. So they have made all of the charts that are available right now in the Silk Stitching app. You apparently have the capability to print it out. I believe I saw a tutorial on how to do it on their Instagram feed. So if you're not following Silk Stitching on Instagram, that might be a great place to start. Also, Dorothy is really very good at communication. So if you have a question, you can try to message her through the... See, I hesitate to say try to contact her through the Instagram app, only because it hasn't worked that well for me because I miss a lot of them. If people try to message me on Instagram, I miss it probably 65% of the time because I don't get notifications for it if we're not connected already. And so it gets kind of shuffled off into this tiny little extra folder that you have to remember to go and check. And there's all these other things that you have to remember to go and check. So let me figure out the best way for you to contact Dorothy, probably through the shop, I would imagine. They have a wonderful website. I will link to it in the drop down box below for historiestiekmuster.com. And again, it is in German, but there's a very easy way. If you're browsing on your computer, there's a Google Translate button right in the search bar. If you just click it, you have the choice to translate the whole page into English if you need it. It's very, very simple to do, and so quite easy to find. So the pattern that I've chosen was not on the Silk Stitching app because the software used to design it was from years and years ago and it wasn't compatible. So what they did was they recharted it. They recharted it and they've been able to load it into the app. So I am very pleased to tentatively announce a new stitch along because I don't have a date planned because I don't have my floss yet. I have a very specific idea in mind of exactly what floss I want to use and I don't have it yet. And so I don't want to start it until I'm 100% sure about the supplies that I'm going to use because this is a biggie. I don't want to mess around with restarts on this one. I want to get it right from the beginning because I am in love with it. It is the Vierlande, what's the number on it? Let me check. I purchased my pattern this morning. I had a feeling that Dorothy was going to offer to send me a copy of the chart. So before she could do that, I hopped in there and I purchased it myself. I figure if you are going to do a stitch along with me and you're going to buy the pattern, then I'm going to buy the pattern too. So this is Vierlande HKVH. So let me flash this up on the screen. So this is what it's going to look like in the app. If you have the iOS app, that's the chart. So you can purchase it in the app, but guess what? If you don't have an iOS device and you still really desperately want to stitch this, they are making it available as a PDF directly from their website. I had a little look this morning. I couldn't find it easily. So, and that is probably me. That's probably user error. So I've emailed Dorothy and I've asked her to send me a link that will take me directly to where to purchase the PDF copy of this design. So that if you'd like to stitch this but you don't have an iOS device, doesn't matter. You can still stitch it with us and just purchase it as a PDF. Or you can purchase it as a hard copy pattern. You can even kit it up through Historiestiek Muster because they have gorgeous stuff. You know, Vierlande silk, some fabric, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever, Happy Flossmas, non-denominational, just a present for yourself if, you know, if you're in the mood. But this is what I'm planning. This is one of two of my main starts for next year. I'm so excited. It is so beautiful. The reason I chose this one, I really had a hard time picking because if you look at their website at the different ones that they have available, they're all so beautiful, but they're really massive. And I know that I don't have time to stitch, you know, in my lifetime. If I get one or two of these done in my lifetime, that would be amazing. So I really took my time and I chose the one that I really wanted to stitch. And the reason I chose this one is, I'll be honest with you, is mostly because there are birds in it. And these little reindeer in this motif here, I find them utterly charming. And I just think these motifs are so pretty. And each one of them is like a little mini finish. And yeah. So I'm excited about that. But there are a lot of those, you know, sampler motif birds in there. I'm pretty excited. So again, if you'd like to join in with me, Again, no pressure stitch along. There's, I was hoping to start January 1st, but at this point in time, I'm not sure I'm gonna have my floss in time. And I don't want to feel rushed and overwhelmed because there's usually a lot of other stuff going on in the family. The last couple of days of the year, you know, they wanna watch movies and be together as a family, and these kinds of things, for me, I like to take my time in setting up, because a lot of the pleasure in starting a new project is in the startup for me. Some people don't like the setup and startup. They want to get right to the stitching. But choosing the fabrics, choosing the floss, laying it on the fabric, looking at the chart, figuring out where I'm going to, you know, which little piece of it do I want to do first. That is such a huge part of the joy in it for me, that I like to take my time. That is a bit of a present in itself. So, but that's my plan. And when I'm a little closer to the time, also I will need to start figuring out fabric and floss for the modern folk embroidery stitch along, because that is definitely going to be a must stitch for me next year as well. The other piece that I need to get out and work on next year, I had mentioned I want to finish my Quaker diamonds. I also really want to put a huge amount of work into my 2018 mystery stitch along from Modern Folk Embroidery, because it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and I need to get back to that. So see, the reason why that one has kind of languished, I think that's the word I'm looking for. The scroll rods that I have that project on got stripped, and they came out of the rods. And so because the fabric is sewn onto those scroll rods and I don't have the screw in it to put into my frame, every time I think about that project, I think, I have to fix the scroll rods, or I have to remove the linen and find other scroll rods for it. Sheer laziness, I tell you, because honestly, it would take me it would take me 5 minutes to take it off the scroll rods. I think John could probably fix those rods for me and put the screws back in, but I have the handy clamp set up, so I might just try and use that. So 4 big projects on my radar, for 6, but only 2 of them are new. Savon needs to be finished. The Quaker Diamonds Modern Folk Embroidery 2018 piece, Jeanette Douglas Blooming Bouquet stitch along, 7. Glendon Place Hope and Strength, and then 2 new ones, the Vierlande and the new. Wow. Okay, so I better get to it. I've got some sewing to do today, so I'm going to say goodbye, and you know, this is probably a longer video, so hopefully it makes up a little bit for the fact that I didn't get a visit in yesterday, and hopefully you've gotten a fair bit of your own stitching done while we had a visit today. I am going to be sewing all day tomorrow, so I am going to, it is also Sunday. I don't usually record on Sunday, so I will see you on Monday. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope that you're safe and healthy and happy, and that you have some time to do some crafting of your own. I'll see you on Monday. Happy stitching, everybody. Take care. Wait, I forgot because it wasn't on my list. But you know what? It was sitting over there. I'm sorry for the crinkling. Nicholas put all of these in a bag, and that's why I didn't see them, because he moved them on me. Okay, I had a box. I'm really sorry for the crinkling there. Okay, I'm done. That big crinkling is done, but there's a little bit of other crinkling here. I received a box it was sitting on my porch yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And it was from Nova Scotia Bob. And I had a huge laugh when I saw the box, because I immediately thought, oh dear, he's stuffed it full of tea or something like that as a joke, you know, because, well, we have different taste in tea. But I opened it up, and it was a box full of candy. It was literally a box full of candy. And it was so wonderful because this is candy from Nova Scotia. This is actually produced in Nova Scotia near his hometown. It's from near where he lives, and it's called Robertson's Candy. Now, maybe I've mentioned this before, but I do have a family connection to Nova Scotia. So I always feel a little close to those East Coast Canadians. My mother's family was from Nova Scotia. My grandmother was a Hilchey from the Hants County area, and my grandfather, my granddad, excuse me, it was very specific, he was called Granddad. He was a Churchill from Yarmouth. I think so. Mom, correct me if I'm wrong. He was from the Yarmouth area, and so I apparently still have relatives who live in Nova Scotia. I have never met them. I think they know about I think we're called the Ontario Cousins, but we've never met. So I think that one day I need to introduce myself somehow and find out more about these relatives in Nova Scotia. So Bob sent me a box full of candy, and you can I'll show you the one because Nicholas has already been into this one. Now, you will appreciate this. Do you notice that nice clean cut at the top? See the packaging at the bottom? Do you want to place bets on what scissors he used to open this bag of candy? Because these were sitting in here in my sewing room so that I could share with you. That's a nice clean cut at the top there. I don't think there's any doubt in which scissors he used. However, that's a discussion for another day. These are called Clear Toys, and I believe the original name for these is called Barley Toys. And so this is a very traditional sweet, and it's like a lollipop it's candy lollipop. So those are really fun. Nicholas loved it, I'll tell you that. And there are some fog mints. To see these, look at those. These are hilarious. Big, ugly mints. Look at how ugly is spelt. That made me laugh. Big, ugly mints. These are going to be good. These look like ones that you can just pop in your mouth and they'll last for ages. And then, I recognize this. I'm sure of it. This is called hard mix candy, but I think it's also known as ribbon candy. And I think my mother has had this before in the house. This looks familiar. Ribbon mix, ribbon candy, is that right? And he also sent some maple syrup, Nova Scotia maple syrup. The real stuff, the real deal. We Canadians, we know our syrup. We know the good stuff. And last but not least, he tucked in some fabric because he's a stitcher, as am I. And this was a fabric that he had ordered, and it wasn't the right color for what he wanted. He was going to stitch the one that Gerald did, the Kingdom, the one with all the crowns, right? That, I'm pretty sure that's the one, and it's gorgeous. And so he'd ordered this fabric for that design, and apparently it wasn't the right color. Was probably a dye lot issue or something looked different on the screen. So it wasn't quite right. So he sent it to me, and he said I could either keep it or I could give away. Now, the thing is that this blue is very similar to two other pieces that I have in my stash that I haven't used yet. I have them set aside for a couple of projects, and I haven't started them. I haven't used them yet. So I have two pieces of really beautiful blue in my stash. I don't need a third. I am going to give this away. So if you're still here with me today, I am giving away this fabric sent to me by Bob. I will send it anywhere in the world. You just have to leave me a comment on this video here. Bob, I'm not sure how much fabric is in here, but this looks like a sizable piece. I'm gonna take it out of the bag. Yeah, this is at least, I'm gonna guess this is a half yard. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that's really nice. That is really nice. Is that a 28 count? I think it's a 28 or a 32 count even weave. It's a beautiful piece of fabric. It's a beautiful blue. And it's a nice big piece. So if you would like to win this blue fabric, if you'd like me to send it to you, let's have the word blue in your comment. So just the word blue somewhere in your comment, and that will be the word that I search for. I'm gonna give you a whole week, okay? So next Saturday, I will choose the comment for this fabric. And again, it doesn't matter where you live. I'll ship it anywhere in the world because, well, Bob was pretty kind to me. So let's share the love a little bit. And yeah, so 1 week today, next Saturday, leave me a comment on this video here, somewhere down in the comment section below with the word blue in it, and I'll pick a winner next week. Bob, thank you. Thank you very much. It was a lovely, lovely surprise. I had the biggest smile on my face. Just first of all because, well, Bob makes me laugh, but it was a very unexpected surprise. So thank you again. Okay, so blue, don't forget, leave me a comment and I'll pick a winner next week. Okay, now that really is it. I'm really done now. I really need to get back to work. I'll see you on Monday. Take care.